Welcome back to a brand new Clash Royale video, guys. My name is Patrick, aka Chief Pat, and today we're going to be trying out one of my favorite decks inside of Clash Royale that actually just got buffed. Now, James Turner in my last video made a comment telling me to do the Mirror Goblin Barrel trolling now that it's OP because the Mirrored Goblin Barrel needs a level 14 zap to take it out because the goblins gain an additional level with the new change to the mirror. And I've actually done this deck before, but not since the mirror changes, obviously. So I'm going to show you guys inside of this video and check it out as I do the double goblin barrels on the left and right hand side. So on the left, those are the regular 13 goblins. On the right, those are the level 14 goblins. And you can see the level 14 goblins don't immediately die to the zap spell. That's what's really fun about the new Mirrored Goblin Barrel. It brings the goblins to a whole nother level to where your opponent can't deal with it unless they have a mirrored zap spell. Now, of course, spending 7 elixir over and over again on mirrored goblin barrel pushes is going to be pretty tough when it comes to defending, but let's go ahead and try it out inside of this one. And again, if you guys drop your comments and videos, I'm always reading the comment section, seeing what you guys have to say. And yeah, for this one, I thought it was a pretty fun idea to bring back yet again. Alright, so going ahead on defense, I'm going to fireball down all those minions except for one. Of course, there's always just one remaining, but it will die to my tower. His giant's obviously going to die to that Inferno tower fairly easily. And with the goblins running down the left-hand lane, he's going to play the 3 musketeers. All right, this is going to be a little bit hard to deal with my deck. So I'm going to play the ice wizard. I'm going to play the zap spell. We'll kill the ice spirit as well. And the musketeer on the right-hand side will get a good amount of damage off, but honestly, still not too worried because we do have a damage lead. And I think we have an elixir lead as well, so you guys know what time it is. Let's throw the goblin barrels. Goblin on the left, goblin on the right, ice spirit on the right. I've got the fireball out as well, just in case I want it. The goblins are going to go ham on the left. They're even going to keep stabbing that tower on the right, and over again, we're getting an insane amount of damage. He's spamming some wows over and over again, and at this point, this is turning to be pretty funny. All right, well, the giant is going to be a little bit of a pain to deal with. Plus, we're at a pretty big elixir disadvantage, I feel like. So I'm going to go ahead and just start with the nice wizard in the back and play things pretty casual. I do have my fireball available in case I want to try to get some good value on that elixir collector, but I'm going to go ahead and play it right onto those musketeers. I might have to zap those musketeers down as well. I'm actually just going to drop goblins, save my zap for the left-hand side, and use the ice spirit onto that minion horde. Meanwhile, on both the left and the right, I'm going to take a few shots from the musketeers, but again, we're overall winning the battle of the elixir, or I guess the tower damage right now. And let's go ahead and do another big push down the right-hand lane. All right, Fireball's going to go down on the tower. Goblins are stabbing away. Look at the stab. He actually missed part of his zap spell, I think. So the tower's all the way down to 267 HP. I'm going to go ahead and drop my ice wizards. I'm going to drop my goblins. I knew they would get shot down by the musketeers. I'm going to mirror my zap spell. That's actually pretty cheeky right there. And with 267 health left on that tower, fireballing it down should prove to pretty much be the end of the game, unless he can get some sort of push going. So Inferno Tower onto the giant. Ice Spirit will be able to help out and kill that minion horde in a single shot, and that's going to be a pretty fun game using this Mirrored Goblin Barrel deck, and I'll finish it off with a little bit of a zap against the King Tower. Alright, so good game right there. It's going to be 1 crown to 0 fairly clean, 35 trophies as well, and 20 gold. Let's go ahead and continue onwards using this Goblin Barrel troll deck and facing off against our next opponent. I actually have a real look at this terrible starting hand. I don't have my ice wizard. I don't have my Goblin Barrel. Look at this. This is the worst starting hand you could possibly have. I've got a bunch of goblins and an ice spirit that are just going to get blown up by the bomber right there. I was forced to throw my fireball. This is definitely not how you want to start a game, and I'm probably going to pay for this on my opponent's push right here. So zapping his troops, I'm going to go ahead and mirror the zap, which is pretty cheeky with my beautiful mirror card right there. Prince might get a hit off against the tower. Looks like he's going to be able to. The bomber will as well, but honestly, could have been way worse for us after that just disastrous starting hand. And now we've got some goblins running down the right-hand lane. Now we do have a level on him, even though most of his cards, I think all of his cards are maxed out, and that level lets our goblins just go ham on that right-hand tower, and that's going to put us right back into the lead going into the rest of this battle. Now at this point, we do have our Goblin Barrel, so we can go ahead and save that up. Sort of awkward though, so I'm just going to fireball down that elixir collector and take that 1 elixir loss. We're going to lose 1 elixir on the fireball, but we do gain some damage on that tower, so not too big of a deal, and it forces him to go on the offensive before me, which honestly I am totally 100% happy about. So Inferno Tower goes down. It has a super long lifespan. I'm not too worried about it dying before the giant gets here. He's going to play the bomber. I'm sure he's got a prince lined up as well. He's actually going to play it on the left-hand lane, and he's got a goblin. Look at all these cards. I'm just flipping over and over again. I got the Ice Spirit stunning the prince. I've got the Inferno Tower chucking away on that giant. I've got a Goblin Barrel onto his tower that he's going to have to deal with while the princess shoots down that Inferno Tower, and he does have a set of arrows, so I've got to keep that in mind. But guess what? I've got another Goblin Barrel. I think he has a fireball, so he could use that as well. And he does have the bomber, but the bomber's only going to hit one goblin at a time. Look at those goblins chunk that tower, and notice how I placed my Goblin Barrel as soon as my Ice Wizard took aggro from the tower. Once my Ice Spirit was being targeted by the Crown Tower, my Goblin Barrels were free to go ham. Meanwhile, on defense, this game is moving so fast, I've got to zap down his Goblin Barrel. I've got Inferno Tower on the Prince. I've got the bomber dying to my Ice Wizard. I've got a Goblin Barrel flying at his tower in a second. I've got another Goblin Barrel that I can throw out as well. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Goblin Barrel on the left to try to bait out his arrows, and then a Goblin Barrel going down the right-hand lane to kill this right-hand tower. Now, he could use his arrows. He's not going to end up using them. The tower's all the way down to 131. We got a little bit unlucky with that giant getting in the way of our push, so I just have to hold on for one more defense. This is going to be the one to decide the game. I've got the Zap spell missing the goblins. That's not good. I've got the Ice Spirit to help clean up those goblins. Inferno Tower going down again. I'm going to throw a Goblin Barrel on the ground just to help out against this push. The goblins are going to assassinate the bomber. I've got the Ice Spirit, or the Ice Wizard, to hold off the rest of this push. 7 seconds left. I'm going to fireball down that tower. I've got the zap spell for his goblins. I'm not going to miss it this time, and that will do it for a pretty hectic victory. Woo! We almost made a massive mistake by getting too aggressive towards the end right there, and then we missed our zap spell onto the Goblin Barrel. Pretty good placement by him. Definitely a nice move. But let's go ahead and continue onward, facing off against another level 13 right here, and we have a much better starting hand to try to abuse this deck. Now, Ice Spirit in the very back, that should work out pretty well. Looks like this guy's going to start spamming some emotes, so that's the time to throw on the emote, the mute feature right there. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Ice Wizard down the right-hand lane. I've got a Goblin Barrel on the left, another Goblin Barrel on the right-hand lane. Is this guy just holding on to his elixir, or what's happening right here? But he plays the Zap spell. Little does he know, we've got more coming. We've got the Zap spell onto the guards. The Ice Spirit went ham. The Ice Wizard's going ham. The Fireball's going to do damage against the tower. The tower's all the way down to 846 HP, and this game's just started. I'm sure he's throwing out some angry faces or something like that, but I'm just going to go ahead and let him keep his mouth shut over there. And there goes the giant in the top left. So let's get ready for a counter push by defending and then using our Goblin Barrels over the top. So definitely one of the most annoying decks inside of Clash Royale, as you guys may have noticed, is the giant bowler deck. I absolutely hate it. It is so annoying, but luckily the most annoying card in the game is the Inferno Tower. So we're countering an annoying deck with an annoying counter. And let's go ahead and freeze down this bowler. That's going to go ahead and make him absolutely worthless. We've got a Zap spell to help out against the princess. The Inferno Tower did do some good work right there. And now I'm just going to hold on and let my Ice Wizard start cleaning stuff up before eventually I do have to drop my goblins. Now, goblins on the left means I can go crazy on the right-hand side. Goblin Barrel's going down. Guess what, though? We've got another Goblin Barrel running towards this tower. He's not even going to defend one of the Goblin Towers, or he's not going to defend that Goblin Barrel right there. And now we can just sit back on defense and hopefully be able to wrap this game up. Getting the first tower down is good, but it does make the deck less effective because you can't throw the Goblin Barrel at both towers, which makes your opponent sort of freak out. So keep that in mind. Meanwhile, he's got that mini P.E.K.K.A, which I'm going to fireball. Not the smartest move I've ever made in my life. That mini P.E.K.K.A is now going to lock onto my tower, so I have to drop some goblins to stab it before it does too much damage. I did end up squeezing my goblin in there, so it took one of the hits from the mini P.E.K.K.A. Crisis averted. Let's go ahead and aim towards that left-hand side and try to take out that tower. So Ice Wizard's going down. We've got a Zap spell for the guards. Guards still have a little bit of HP left. Definitely. This guy's just using literally all the OP cards right now. That's what his whole entire deck is. And he's trying to get a victory off that. I haven't seen the poison spell. I guess that's the one that he's missing. Let's go ahead and throw a Goblin Barrel at the tower. Oh, there's the poison spell. I lied, guys. He did have the poison spell. Let's go ahead and have the Goblin Barrel at the tower. We've got the Ice Spirit freezing the tower. I wasn't able to mirror the Goblin Barrel, or else I would have. Meanwhile, in the right-hand lane, he's just going to keep throwing some stuff over and over again, waiting for that bowler to lock onto my my Ice Wizard. I'm going to go ahead and zap down. I used my goblins as well, which was not very smart because the bowler retargeted. Gonna zap or fireball down everything right there, and with 1300 HP left on the tower, that wraps up a fairly simple game, and I'll just build an Inferno Tower on the other side as he spams some emotes from his side of the map. Well, good game right there. 1 crown to 0, 15 trophies, not too shabby using this deck. Let's go ahead and hop into one more battle using the Goblin Barrel combo. And guys, honestly, I think this is a pretty fun deck. I just threw this one together by myself. I literally picked random cards. This is actually a deck that I made. I didn't copy this from the leaderboards, but I feel like there definitely could be improvements to be made to make this a pretty serious deck, just because it's so much fun. But yeah, if you guys have any comments or improvements, just let me know in the comment section below. Let's go ahead and get on defense against Torius99. I feel like I remember this guy's name from when I used to push before win trading ruined absolutely everything at the top of the leaderboard, which still isn't fixed and hasn't even been talked about, by the way. Let me just casually throw that out there while everyone's happy about the new update. But anyways, things are getting awkward. I have to play my Ice Spirit because of the fact that I don't have any Elixir to play. I'm just going to use my Goblins. I'm going to use my Fireball. Things just got weird, and I had to play some cards. I didn't have a very good card rotation, and that led me to just using this weird push. Luckily, the Prince is pretty low right now, but now, of course, he does have the Dark Prince. Let's go ahead and zap down his push right there. I've got the Ice Spirit as well, which I'm going to go ahead and use to distract his Prince. And now with that free spell, the Goblins should be able to clean up this push. And look at that defense right there, guys. That was an MLG Pro defense. We took that push down, and even with 13 Elixir he had there, 5 Elixir for the Prince, 4 for the Dark Prince, 4 for the free spell, he got absolutely 0 damage off against our tower. And we were able to hold him off successfully. Now here's where we get a little bit of monkey mode. We're going to do Goblin Barrel on the left, Goblin Barrel on the right, party all around. One on the left is going to actually get arrowed down, but the one on the right is going to start stabbing away on that tower. Look at that damage. That's 769 HP left on the tower. The bait worked to perfection, and now we're only, I think, like 2 fireballs, maybe 2 fireballs and a zap away from winning the game. So let's go ahead and sit back on defense and get ready to go ahead on the counterattack. Now, of course, we aren't going to fireball down the tower. We're going to use our Goblin Barrels, but meanwhile, he's got the Pekka double Prince push that we need to stop right in his tracks. Let's go ahead and zap those Princes down. Goblins are going to split up. That's a-okay. Ice Spirit will help take out these Princes. And the free spell, that is not going to work out too well. The Dark Prince is going to meet his maker and not do too much at all. Now, Goblin Barrel on the left, Goblin Barrel on the right. He might be a little smarter this time. He's going to play a Mega Minion on the left. He's going to arrow down that right-hand side. Fireball is going to go down, predicting something that might appear, but it doesn't look like there's going to be anything there. So let's go ahead and use our Goblins and our Ice Spirit on that left-hand lane. Ice Wizard will stop the Princes. This game is moving so fast. I'm just going to throw a Goblin Barrel. I actually did not mean to, but it turned out pretty decently. And because of that, we can just go ahead and fireball down his push right here, waiting for the Mega Minion to get in range. And there it goes right there. Now, I do have the Fireball that I can mirror. I just remembered that. So I can just mirror Fireball to end the game. But instead, I'm just going to go ahead and start throwing some cards out there. I'm going to cycle back to my Goblin Barrel. There it goes at the tower. A second Goblin Barrel is going to be flying at the tower. The Fireball is going to be flying at the tower. We didn't even need the Fireball, boys and girls. The game is over. And with a single second left, I'm going to let the Princes charge towards the tower. And inevitably do nothing to change the outcome of the game. That was pretty dark. 27 trophies, 1 crown to 0, guys. I highly recommend playing this deck. It's super fun. Tried the mirrored Goblin Barrel out. It makes it so people get really annoyed when they're not able to zap it. I love this deck so much. I played it previously, but now it's even stronger. And yeah, that is going to do it for this video. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace out.